Hello champions, welcome to F1 Legends. Today we are going to talk about the amazing career of Kimi Räikkönen, or the Iceman, and all the amazing things he did. But before we start, please subscribe, leave your like and your comment down below. Now, let's begin. Kimi Matthias Räikkönen, or nicknamed the Iceman, was born the 17th of October in 1979 in Espoo, Finland. Kimi spent his childhood in a house built by his great-grandfather in Espoo. He didn't have a lot of money, but since a very young age, Kimi and his brother played with a mini motorbike. At the age of 10 years old, Kimi started to enter competitive races in karting. His career was successful since the beginning. Kimi had many triumphs in Finnish, Nordic and European racing, karting, and then jumping into the British-based Formula Renault. In the fall of the year 2000, despite having just 23 car races to his name, he was given a test by the Sauber Formula One team. They were impressed by his immediate pace and a sure approach. On just the second day of test, Räikkönen lapped half a second quicker than a regular driver, Pedro Diniz. Sauber quickly signed the 28-year-old to drive for them in 2001.
However, some critics voiced concerns over granting an F1 super license to such an inexperienced driver. Räikkönen had only 23 car races to his credit. He was nevertheless granted his license from the FIA after a performance delivery promised by his team boss, Peter Sauber, and scored a championship point in his debut in 2001 Australian Grand Prix, and also reportedly, Räikkönen was asleep 30 minutes before the race. Räikkönen had a solid debut year, achieving 4 point scoring finishes and 8 finishes in the top 8, completing the year with 9 points. Obviously, thanks to the excellent performance that Kimi showed on the track, sufficiently impressed McLaren to receive a contract from the British team for the 2002 season, taking the seat left vacant by the double world champion Mika Häkkinen. The decision to choose Räikkönen was heavily influenced by Häkkinen, who repeatedly told Ron Dennis, "If you wanna win, get the thing." Kimi had a successful first season with McLaren. He scored a third-place podium finish in his first race, the 2002 Australian Grand Prix. Although McLaren suffered many engine failures in 2002, Räikkönen scored 24 points and 4 podiums, and held his own against teammate David Coulthard. Räikkönen came close to winning his first Grand Prix in France, but went off the track at the Adelaide hairpin with a handful of laps to go because oil from the blown engine from Alan McNish Toyota in the circuit. He finished the race second. That season, the Iceman finished 6th in the driver's standings with 4 podiums. In the year 2003 was a year remarkable in his career, despite not being world champion. Räikkönen proved that he was more than capable when it comes to driving an F1 car. In the first race in Australia, Räikkönen finished the race in 3rd position. The next round in Malaysia, Kimi got his first win in a race with a few accidents, but Räikkönen's racecraft and amazing pace was the key to succeed and deliver his first out of 21 wins in his career. Then, after some reliability issues and a few mistakes from Kimi, he just finished the year with 1 win and 10 podiums, in 2nd place in the driver's standing, just behind Michael Schumacher. The 2004 season began with Räikkönen only claiming a single point in the first 7 races. His McLaren, especially the Mercedes engine, suffered repeated breakdowns, allowing him just to complete 2 of the first 7 race events. At the Belgian Grand Prix, Räikkönen's favorite circuit, he classified 10th in the Saturday, but took the lead on lap 11 and held onto it to take McLaren's only win for the season. Despite the disappointment of the 2004 season, Räikkönen was still seen as one of the rising stars of the sport. He finished in 7th place in the driver's standings with 1 win, 4 podiums and 8 DNFs. The first real charge for the championship. Räikkönen's start to the 2005 season was less than perfect. The car was still not reliable, and McLaren were struggling with the new Michelin tires in the first few races. Kimi achieved 3 consecutive poles in San Marino, Spain and Monaco, and a race win at Monte Carlo. Then Räikkönen registered strong, comfortable wins at Barcelona, beating Alonso and at Monte Carlo, never dropping his lead in both races. At the French Grand Prix, Räikkönen suffered a 10th-place grid penalty following the replacement of his new specification Mercedes-Benz engine, which failed in the Friday practice. Afterwards, in Germany, Räikkönen was comfortably in the lead, having dominated all weekend, but suffered hydraulic failure, handing victory and further 10 points to his rival Alonso. It was his third retirement while leading the race during the season. He went on to win the second year in a row in Belgium at Spa-Francorchamps racetrack. The following race, the Brazilian Grand Prix, he saw Alonso clinch the driver championship. Kimi finished the season with 7 wins and 12 podiums, but the results were not consistent, and after many mechanical problems with the car, he finished second on the driver's standings. The 2006 season, the Iceman had problems since the beginning. Having mechanical failure in Bahrain, in Malaysia, Räikkönen was hit from behind in the first lap. Having started the year clearly behind Renault, McLaren improved in Australia, where Räikkönen finished second after a flat spotting tire and losing a wing end plate. They all knew that McLaren was far behind from Renault and Ferrari. Räikkönen admitted that there was no chance on winning the 2006 championship. After a bad year again of poor performance delivered from McLaren, Räikkönen finished the year in 5th place in the Drivers' Championship with only 4 podiums.
After the 2006 Italian Grand Prix, Ferrari announced that Kimi Räikkönen had signed a 3-year contract with the team. That was his first step on the journey to achieve the world title. Räikkönen started the season in Australia by taking pole position, setting the fastest lap and becoming the first driver since Nigel Mansell in 1989 to win his first Grand Prix with Ferrari. Then he got 2 consecutive podiums in Malaysia and Bahrain. In the French Grand Prix he qualified 3rd. At the start he overtook the McLaren of Lewis Hamilton and later on, in the pit stops, overtook his teammate Felipe Massa to lead the Grand Prix and claim his 2nd win with Ferrari. Later on, Räikkönen kept the consistency throughout the season, but some bad luck at the European Grand Prix and a heavy mistake in Monza caused a neck injury on the Iceman. At Spa-Francorchamps, Räikkönen's favorite circuit, he secured pole position again and took his 4th victory of the season. This was also Räikkönen's 3rd consecutive Spa win, which placed him among 6 other drivers with 3 or more Spa wins. At the Fuji Speedway in Japan, Räikkönen finished in 2nd place. At the Chinese Grand Prix in Shanghai, Räikkönen dominated the whole weekend with fastest laps in the 3 practice sessions. In qualifying, Hamilton took pole position, while Räikkönen qualified 2nd with higher fuel load. Hamilton retired after sliding into a gravel trap in the pit lane. Räikkönen took his 5th win of the season that revived his title hopes before the last race of the season. Going to the Brazilian Grand Prix at Interlagos, Massa had taken pole, followed by Hamilton, Räikkönen and Alonso. At the start of the race, Räikkönen passed Hamilton on the outside. Räikkönen eventually overtook Massa, who was already eliminated from contention in the Drivers' Championship. Räikkönen went on to take the checkered flag in 1st place, which handed him the crown by a single point from Hamilton and Alonso. And that was how Kimi Räikkönen achieved the world title and the last one to this day for Ferrari. After winning the 2007 season, Kimi was not in the title battle at the end of the next season, and I will tell you why. In the first race in Australia, he qualified 5th for some mechanical failure, but managed to finish in 8th place on Sunday. Then he got into the podium 4 times, and 2 of them winning the race, but then he finished out of the points in Monaco because he got a drive-through penalty, and in Canada because Lewis Hamilton hit his car. Later on the season, he was out of the points again in 4 more races, in the European Grand Prix, in Belgium, Italy and Singapore. So the inconsistency mixed with the bad luck put Kimi more than 20 points away from the title battle. New season, big aero regulation change,
back on slick tires once again. But the Ferrari of the 2009 season was far away from Brown and Red Bull. They finished 4th in the Constructors' Championship, and Kimi only achieved 3 podiums and a single race win at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. And despite having a contract to race until the 2010 season, he was replaced by Fernando Alonso. He left the Formula 1 for the next 2 years. For the year 2010 he tried Rally, and in 2011 the NASCAR Truck Series. But well, not much of a success, he was just enjoying his time off the Formula 1. For the 2012 season, Kimi came back with a 2-year contract with Lotus. That season the car was fast, but it was not fast enough to beat Sebastian Vettel or Fernando Alonso. But he finished 3rd in the Drivers' Championship, with 4 podiums and a race win in Abu Dhabi. That race at Abu Dhabi was a remarkable with one of his iconic races.
Okay, Kimi, next car behind you is Alonso. I'll keep you updated on the pace.
Just leave me alone, I know what to do.
2013 season. Kimi started the year winning the season opener in Melbourne, Australia. And then later on the season the results were consistent and it looked like he could be a title contender. But then Sebastian Vettel and Red Bull became unstoppable. No one was near them. They were out of the podium only 3 times during that season. And in the Singapore Grand Prix, Räikkönen had recurring back problems during the practice sessions that maybe compromised his pace for the remaining races, and he missed the last 2 races of the season for a surgery related to his back problems. Kimi finished the season with only 1 win and 8 podiums. Also, at the end of the season, he left Lotus for a salary dispute with the team. In 2014, Kimi Räikkönen signed a 2-year contract with Ferrari. He was teammate of Fernando Alonso during that season, but however, the F14 was terrible. Neither Fernando or Kimi got a win in that car. To put an example, that car was known for understeer and oversteer at the same time. For the 2015 season, a new teammate arrived at the team. Former 4-time world champion Sebastian Vettel joined Ferrari. And in that year the car improved a lot in downforce and the Ferrari engine, but they were still far away from Mercedes. Kimi only got 3 podiums that season. For the 2016 season, Kimi got only 4 podiums, but Ferrari was still struggling against Mercedes, and eventually they were caught up by Red Bull. In 2017, finally Ferrari were a title contender, but here Kimi was far away from the pace of Seb. At this point, we can say that Kimi was enjoying his hobby. Kimi finished the season in 4th place with 7 podiums. In the year 2018, Kimi got plenty of podiums, but his results were not enough to be a title contender, but he won the United States Grand Prix in a brilliant way, overtaking Hamilton in the first corner. This victory made Räikkönen the most successful Finnish driver of all time in terms of race wins. He broke the record for the longest gap between Grand Prix wins, 113 races, and the record for the longest gap between first and last career wins, 5,691 days. And at the end of the season he departed the team. Kimi finished his career with Sauber. His role with the team was to develop the car as a number 1 driver. The car was always in the low or midfield part, so Kimi was just racing for fun. Kimi got plenty of records under his belt. He's the most successful Finnish driver, he has the longest gap between wins, and the longest gap between first and last win, as I already mentioned. And he had the most amount of races started, but that record was broken by Fernando Alonso last season. He had a unique career and a unique personality. Well champions, that's all for today's video. I hope you like it. Give the channel a lot of support to continue making more content. Leave a like and a comment and subscribe to the channel so we can keep growing. See you next time, have a happy day, see you later champ.